murders of 16-year-old Tylee Ryan and her little brother, 7-year-old JJ Vallow.
He was bound. There was evidence of a struggle.
Graphic new details about how JJ Vallow and Tylee Ryan died.
7-year-old JJ Vallow and 16-year-old Tylee Ryan were brutally murdered. The perpetrator, their own mother, Vallow Daybell, also known as the Doomsday Mom. Lori's affair with a religious fanatic and author, Chad Daybell, created one of the worst crimes in recent memory. Lori was born on June 26, 1973 in California. Before she was known as the Doomsday Mom, Lori led a typical life but had a string of failed marriages. After her first two marriages, Lori married her third husband, Joseph Ryan, in 2001. They had a daughter named Tylee, but soon divorced in 2004. In 2006, Lori married businessman Charles Vallow in Las Vegas, Nevada. By the accounts of their friends, the two were happy together, with Charles raising Tylee as his own, alongside two other children from his past marriage. Even though he was a lifelong Catholic, Charles converted to the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints for Lori. In 2014, the couple adopted Charles' grandnephew, Joseph Jackson JJ Vallow. While JJ had autism, according to friends of the family, Lori showed incredible patience for the child, making her the ideal mother. The introduction of JJ into the household didn't seem to affect the sibling dynamics, with Tylee adopting the role of the big sister. Things began to change in 2015. Lori suddenly took an interest in an apocalyptic series of books called Standing in Holy Places, written by self-published author Chad Daybell. This led Lori into a path of radical beliefs and unexpected connections. Her relationships with JJ and Tylee began to change. The Vallow family relocated to Arizona the following year, and by the fall of 2018, Lori met Chad in person at an event called Preparing a People, a series of events designed to prepare people for the second coming of Jesus Christ. During their encounter, Chad told Lori that they had been married in 7 previous lifetimes. This prompted private communication between the two, despite Chad being married to Tammy Daybell and raising 5 children with her. After their meeting, Charles went on a business trip, prompting Lori to hold an overnight gathering. Among the attendees was Chad, who charmed everyone with his unique religious beliefs, such as having lived 31 separate lives on different planets and categorizing people as light or dark based on their alignment with either Jesus or Satan. This drew Lori more toward Chad, and she eventually adopted his unconventional beliefs. The two began doing religious podcasts. Soon, Lori's family began to feel the changes in her personality. By 2019, Charles was becoming anxious about Lori. He even went to the police, saying she threatened to kill him and that she had claimed she no longer cared about him or JJ. Furthermore, Lori had stolen $35,000 from their joint bank account and his vehicle. However, nothing came of Charles' complaints to the authorities. Eventually, Charles filed for a divorce, citing fears for his and the children's safety. But Lori was able to live with the children in Chandler, Arizona. On July 11, 2019, Charles was supposed to drop off JJ at school, but when he entered Lori's home, he got into a heated argument with Lori, prompting Alex Cox, Lori's brother, to intervene. According to Alex, Charles struck him with a bat, and he responded in self-defense by shooting Charles dead. Police didn't pursue the case. Charles' attorneys later revealed that Charles had been deeply concerned for JJ's safety, as he had special needs. While he was also concerned for Tylee, she was not his biological daughter, and Charles had no legal standing in the matter. Despite everything, Charles wanted to try to make their marriage work, according to his lawyers. A few months later, Lori moved closer to Chad, relocating her kids to Rexburg, Idaho. Alex moved into the same apartment complex. Soon, Tammy Daybell, Chad's wife, would also find trouble. 10 days after reporting she was attacked by a masked man, Tammy was found dead inside her house. A apparently from natural causes. Chad claimed she had a terrible cough before going to sleep and never woke up. Strangely, he refused to have Tammy's body autopsied. Merely 2 weeks after Tammy's death, Chad and Lori married on a beach in Hawaii on November 5th, 2019. Later that month, police visited Lori's townhouse in Rexburg upon the request of JJ's grandmother. She hadn't heard about JJ in months and wanted to know what was happening. Surprisingly, neither JJ nor Tylee were at the townhouse when the police arrived. When asked about their whereabouts, Lori informed officers that JJ was staying with Melanie Gibb, a family friend in Arizona. The police soon discovered this to be untrue, as Gibb confessed that she hadn't been with JJ in months. When the police returned to Lori's house the next day, the place was abandoned. Chad's house was also searched, but neither he nor JJ were there. As authorities dug deeper, they realized that Tylee was missing too. Her last known sighting was in Yellowstone National Park in September of that year, months prior to the police's inquiry. That was when Lori, Alex, and the 2 children went on a trip together. By December 2019, local authorities issued a nationwide search for the missing children. Meanwhile, investigators began to grow suspicious of Tammy's death, so they decided to exhume her body for an autopsy. Meanwhile, Alex died in Arizona from high blood pressure. During this time, friends and relatives of the family came forward, revealing an increasingly distorted picture of Lori's life. They shared stories of her growing obsession with Chad's doomsday beliefs. Some even shared that Lori and Chad had referred to the children as zombies and had believed them to be possessed by dark spirits. In fact, Chad gave Tylee a spiritual rating of 4.1D in his system. If you have a rating of 4.1 or higher, it means you've made covenants to their side and rarely changed their allegiance. While this was all happening, Chad and Lori were in Hawaii enjoying their vacation. On January 25th, 2020, authorities served Lori an order to show her children, proving they were indeed safe as she claimed them to be. However, after failing to comply within the given time frame, she was arrested and extradited to Idaho. Even after being arrested, neither Lori nor Chad gave up the children's whereabouts. This prompted authorities to continue their search, and on June 9th, 2020, they discovered something horrifying. Chad Daybell's home and property were searched by the authorities, and they discovered human remains in shallow graves. They confirmed it was JJ and Tylee's remains. 9 months earlier, Chad had referenced that same burial location in a text to Tammy, saying he was burying a raccoon. Chad was arrested. The couple was charged with first-degree murder of JJ and Tylee. After Tammy Daybell's autopsy, authorities learned that she died of asphyxiation, not natural causes. As a result, they also charged Chad with the murder of his first wife. He faces the possibility of the death penalty. Meanwhile, Lori was also charged with conspiring to murder Charles Vallow, her ex-husband. On May 12, 2023, Vallow Daybell was found guilty on charges of JJ Vallow and Tylee Ryan's murders. She was also found guilty, along with Chad, of conspiring to murder Tammy Daybell. Unfortunately, all of this could have been prevented. In 2007, during a custody battle between Lori and Joseph Ryan, Tylee's father, the court made a critical decision. Instead of granting custody to Joseph Ryan, they ordered Lori to undergo a psychiatric evaluation, despite her alarming statement about death being an option. Furthermore, before he was murdered, Charles Vallow was trying for 6 months to get authorities to realize that his ex-wife was growing more unstable and dangerous, asking them to get his wife on an emergency mental hold. Lori bonded with the police, though, and managed to manipulate everyone into thinking she was of the right mind. I'm not going to take sides, but I don't think you're going to be a danger to yourself or anybody else. You got your kids to school, said one of the officers she spoke to. Lori faces a life sentence without parole, while Chad's trial is set for a later date. We would like to extend our deepest condolences to the families of JJ and Tylee. May they rest in peace and true justice be served. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications by activating the bell icon. By doing so, you'll never miss out on new content, and it really helps us make these videos. So, like, subscribe, and activate the bell. We appreciate your support.